Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April Whitney, and if you have not yet seen part 1 of this series, you can go, I think, here and watch the first video. Today I wanted to make a part 2 and provide a little bit of an update because that video is from 2018 and I'm still getting lots of questions about it. We are talking about how to tone and slim your thighs, especially if your thighs have been something that you've had trouble changing. I want to show you guys how I've been able to change my thighs over time. I also have some updates for you guys. In this older video, I was able to go through a body recomp and significantly change the appearance of my thighs, reduce the size of them, and since then I've gone on to lose an additional inch off of my thighs. So I want to talk to you guys today about how I've gone about doing that, what you can expect in terms of results, and really just want to take you step by step what I've done since that video so that you guys can do it too. So for any of you guys who are new here, I am a retired internationally ranked fencer, and fencing is super quad dominant. So quick summary of what happened in 2018. After I retired from my sport, I set out to do a very intentional body recomp where I wanted to lose muscle in my thighs and gain muscle in my upper body just to have a more symmetrical physique. This video is not that. This isn't an extreme video. This wasn't body recomping after 18 years of doing a sport that had specific results or specific repercussions for my body. This is gonna be like, I'm not that athlete anymore, I'm not a fencer anymore. This is like the general population, what you can do to change the appearance of your thighs if you want to get stronger, if you want them to look more toned, if you want to reduce them in size, just lose a little bit of fat and just get a little bit healthier. This video is going to help you do just that. I do want to say that I haven't intentionally been trying to lose any additional mass in my thighs since 2018. It's just naturally happened. I went on another 12-week personal fitness challenge from December 2019 to around April, and I'm still following that lifestyle. So just things have changed with my body. I've gotten a lot stronger. I've lost a lot of body fat. I've lost a little bit of weight. So things have just naturally changed. So I want you guys to know I am not trying to lose muscle ever anymore. I'm just trying to lose fat. I don't care what the scale says. I don't care about weight. I'm focused on losing fat, gaining muscle all the time now. It's the most sustainable thing. It's also known as a body recomposition, and you can absolutely do this as well. I also want to say that it's really great to have big thighs. I still have big thighs. I still love them. Some days it's harder than others, like everyone has their own thing with their body, but I saw on the comments of the last video that a lot of people struggle with accepting their body type, accepting that they might have bigger thighs. And you know what? Your body is beautiful, and it's okay to want to get a little bit healthier, lose a little bit of fat and tone up. But if your body structure is anything like mine, I'm quad dominant. When I do glute exercises, I feel it in my quads. Like, it's always been that way. And it might be the case for you guys too. Some of you guys watching this, I just want you to know, you're beautiful the way you are. It's okay. You can love what you are and who you are and how you look, and also want to strive to be healthier. They don't have to be like one or the other or all or nothing. You can have a goal and also be happy where you are. I want to state that and make it really clear that I am really happy with my body. I'm forever working on it. I'm forever working on my lifestyle, and I just love living this lifestyle and doing this. So I don't want to ramble too much, but I want you guys to know it is okay to have big thighs. I love my big thighs, and this is just to help those of you who have requested, okay, can we have an update since then, and like, what are you doing differently now? Okay, April, shut up. Like, time to get to the to the steps, right? Okay, so today we're talking about how you can lose fat in your thighs the healthy way, so not strictly dieting, okay? Step 1 is to understand what is realistic for you, what is a realistic, healthy, sustainable, attainable, and what you can expect as far as results. So you have to understand, you cannot spot reduce fat loss. You cannot spot reduce muscle loss, right? So no matter how many toning exercises you do, no matter how many glute exercises, whatever that you do, you cannot just lose fat only in your thighs. If you look at my personal 12-week challenge, you guys will see I've lost fat all over. I've lost fat in my arms, in my stomach, in my thighs, everywhere, in my face. When you lose fat, it is going to come off equally everywhere, and also genetically it'll play a role. For most women, it comes off last or slowest from the tummy area and also the inner thighs or the thigh area. So before you even start trying to, only do like toning butt exercises, just know that's not doing anything. It really comes down to losing fat all over your body. You cannot spot reduce. And in terms of what you can expect, like what is a healthy goal and what what is a healthy result to strive for? We are looking at anywhere from 12 weeks to 6 months, so 3 to 6 months of changing your body. That means lifestyle changes that are sustainable, that still allow you to live a lifestyle you love. That means no strict dieting. This isn't crash dieting, right? Like, you want to be able to keep the results after you achieve them. If you do a strict 6-week diet, lose fat all over, and then go back to your normal life, you're going to gain it back. So you want to strive for slow and steady progress. You want to strive for fat loss, not necessarily weight loss. And I'll show you how to measure that, by the way. And you want to just give yourself the time, space, and grace to really get these results in the healthy way. And also in this step, just understanding and setting your expectations and your goals. You might think that it's a lot of muscle you need to lose, but it's probably fat. It's probably just, if you reduce your overall body fat percentage and you increase your muscle mass percentage, you will see the results you're looking for. So you don't necessarily have to do anything extreme to lose muscle. You don't have to stop lifting. We will go into that. You just probably need to do just slight little changes here and there for an extended period of time to get the results you're looking for. Okay, step 2 is nutrition. Nutrition is 85% of the journey here, and we'll get into workouts later, but this is really where you want to focus. We're gonna go over some do's and don'ts for this exact topic. Okay, eat regularly scheduled meals. I want you guys to get in the habit of eating regularly scheduled meals. So that means breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe a snack, maybe you eat 5 meals a day, whatever it is. Don't start skipping meals in an effort to diet or to lose weight fast. It does not help you, and here's why. When you skip a meal, your blood sugar level drops. You're gonna get really hungry, especially if you do it all day. Your hunger hormones are gonna get angry and fire up, and then you're gonna probably eat it all back in some form later in the day, at night, binging, whatever it is. 99% of the time, it backfires. The other reason you don't want to do this is it increases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and it causes your blood sugar to crash. You don't want low blood sugar. You also don't want too high of blood sugar, which brings me to my second point. Do eat balanced PFF meals, protein, fats, and fibrous carbs. Okay, what does this mean? Every single meal you eat, even your snacks, should have some protein in it. Do not eat carbs alone. Naked carbs are causing your insulin to increase, and when your insulin increases and your blood sugar increases, you're probably gonna store a lot of that as fat. And you don't want to have too high of a glycemic load, so too many carbs per meal, because you're gonna end up storing it, especially if you're not using it. A good time to have high carb meal is before workout and after workout, but all other times of the day, stick to your fibrous carbs. So stick to those vegetables, stick to the carbs that are going to keep you feeling full, and make sure you're not eating them alone, because when we eat them alone, they get digested really quickly. When you eat the carbs with the protein and a fat, they actually get digested a lot slowly, which results in a slower insulin response, which allows you to stay in fat burning mode instead of just going straight to storage. Really, the nutrition is that simple. If you took the next few weeks and just focused on 1, eating regularly scheduled meals, so literally your meal times, just map them out each day, and 2, every single one of those meals is centered around a protein and is PFF centric, it's PFF balanced, you are already gonna start seeing results. You're going to be less bloated. You're gonna have much more predictable energy levels, higher energy, better sleep. You're gonna be getting more nutrients, especially if you're getting enough fiber. And for women, the recommended daily intake for fiber is 25 to 30 grams. You can track on MyFitnessPal to just see how much fiber you're getting in a day. We usually aren't getting enough. And just a note there, if you do increase your fiber, make sure you're drinking lots of water so that it doesn't get you constipated or have too much diarrhea, either way. These seem really simple, but a lot of times with fitness and nutrition, we want to overcomplicate it. But really, do the basics first. Eat regularly scheduled meals and eat PFF and watch. You will see that you'll be fuller longer. You'll probably end up eating less in general because you're eating more foods that fill you and make you feel satiated and full. When we eat carbs all day or we eat fat all day, it doesn't keep us full without the other parts. You need the full plate to keep you full, satiated, and happy. When you graze on foods all day, it just peaks your insulin and it keeps you stuck in that craving cycle. So make sure you have designated meal times. Make sure that they are PFF balanced. That alone is gonna be enough, most likely, to set you in the direction of your goals, and you won't have to do anything extreme. You won't have to slash calories or restrict carbs or go keto or do intermittent fasting. None of that is really necessary. I don't even use do any of that. I simply focus on getting high quality, nutrient dense, unprocessed foods at every meal, making sure there's enough protein, so about 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, and making sure I don't skip meals, I don't punish myself, I don't, after a night out or, not that we're going anywhere right now, but after like a night, maybe having a couple drinks or having dessert, indulging, I do not start my next day off skipping a meal to make up for that. I get right back on track. I have my, my carb breakfast, my carb fats and, protein. I have eggs, make sure that you are always keeping those blood sugar levels stable, and that's gonna do an amazing job at helping you start that body recomp. Much better than if you just suddenly slash calories, like try to diet. That's not gonna help you in the long run. And then let's talk about hunger levels, because I feel like that can be a really helpful tool for trying to figure out if you're eating enough or not eating enough. So if you imagine a scale 1 to 10, 1 is you are absolutely stuffed, like you're gonna puke, you overate so much, you indulged, or you're just so stuffed. 10 is like you're absolutely starving, you're about to like rip your arm off and like eat your own arm. God forbid. So you want to be in terms of this goal of losing body fat and getting into a fat burning state, you want to be around a 5 at all times, and then sometimes you'll be like a 6 or a 7, and that's okay. You're not going to be hungry always, but you are probably going to feel a little hungry, especially when it's time for a meal. Going to bed, you might be like slightly hungry, but you're satiated, you're not thinking about food, you don't have a headache, you're not starving, none of that. Just you finish a meal and then you could probably have more, but you don't need it. You're good. You know what I mean? And that takes some time to work on those internal cues. Slow down your eating, sit down, don't watch TV, let your brain catch up with your metabolism, and you will figure out that gauge. But that's a really good place to be if you want to be in fat burning mode, is in that 5 to 6, 7 range. You should not be in the 8, 9, 10 range at any point. You should not be ignoring your hunger hormones, feeling like you're starving, or restricting certain foods, putting desserts off of limits. If you want to have dessert, remember dessert is usually high carb, high sugar. Just put it at the end of a PFF meal. That way it slows down the absorption of it and you don't have as high of an insulin spike and then fat storage. Just put it at the end of a PFF meal and you're good, and then go on with the rest of your day. Okay, step 3 is the workouts and the fitness. If you do not lift weights, I want you to start lifting weights. This is gonna help you build muscle, which is gonna naturally increase your metabolism. It's gonna help you burn more calories at rest, which increasing your resting metabolism is gonna help you burn fat at rest, burn calories at rest. That's the goal. It helps you eat more calories. It's a good thing to do. And the only way you can do it naturally is by increasing your muscle mass, and the only way you increase muscle is by lifting weights, especially as a petite, because we have slightly naturally slower metabolisms. If you already lift weights, I want you to continue to lift your weights. I don't want you to stop doing leg exercises, okay? A lot of times we'll just be like, oh, I wanna lose fat in my thighs, but people will say squats are making my thighs bigger. There's some truth to that. If you're squatting really, really heavy and you are very quad dominant like I am, that might be true. However, I don't stop training legs, and I haven't. Like I said, you can see my before and afters. I have lost an inch in my thighs since December, and I am still, not at this point, but December through March, I was lifting, heavy with barbells. I was squatting maybe like 140 pounds. I was deadlifting, 200 pounds. I was hip thrusting like 260 pounds. I was still doing heavy lower body exercises. One thing you might want to stay away from is doing too many squats. I personally, you'll have to see how your body responds to this. I didn't stop squatting altogether, but I do know that quad-centric exercises like step-ups, lunge variations, and squats do cause my legs to blow up. So I wouldn't do more than 3 sets of maybe 8 to 12 reps of those. I would just stick with my 3 sets, and then everything else, hamstrings, glutes, I go up to 5 sets on. If you're an expert, or intermediate, you can go up to heavier and more sets. If you're just getting started, stick to 3 sets with everything and you'll be fine. So make sure that you're not skipping leg day, but that you're doing exercises that are emphasizing your glutes and your hamstring development. Okay, so what are these exercises? First off, for your hamstring development, I want you guys to still do your hip thrusts, and there's tons of variations of this, right? There's single leg hip thrust, there's on the floor hip thrust, there's feet elevated hip thrust, There's feet elevated single leg. There's frog pumps is another type of thrust where your heels are touching. And you can also do deficit where your back is elevated and your feet are elevated and you have more range of motion. Okay, so keep doing all variations of the hip thrust. It's gonna be amazing for your glute development and hamstrings. And then for hamstring focused exercises, do your deadlifts, do your single deadlifts, do your hamstring curls. You can do these at home with a towel. You can also use water jugs. You can fill up bags with cans of food. Get creative. My point here is do not stop doing leg exercises. You still need to develop your glutes and your hamstrings and even your quads. But of course, you can lay off the quads a little bit. Maybe train quads once a week. Maybe don't do too high volume of training and see how your body responds. Okay, step 4 is how to use cardio. After 6 weeks, and only after 6 weeks, you gotta wait a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks until you assess whether or not your body is responding to this. It's gonna take some time. If you get to 6 to 8 weeks and you have not noticed a change, and when I say notice, I don't mean just like you glance in the mirror and you haven't reached your goal yet. I want you to really take measurements. In terms of thighs, you need to take tape measurements and progress photos. That's the best way to measure progress. Forget the scale, forget, I don't know, anything else. Just take progress photos, every 4 weeks or even more regularly, and take measurements with a tape measure, not the like strict like metal one, but the like cloth one of your upper thigh, wherever the widest circumference is, and make a note of it. If you notice a change after 6 weeks and you see that your body fat is decreasing, that the circumference of your upper thigh is decreasing, then that means your body's responding to these changes and you're being consistent enough, you're adhering, and it's good. In that case, you don't need to do much, just keep going. Your body's responding, it's in the right direction, it's moving, it's doing its thing. You can just keep going until you do hit about a 3-week plateau, and then you'll need to reassess. So once you do hit a plateau, and you need to be really honest with yourself, guys, like if you have not been adhering and you've been inconsistent, then you can't really turn to this next step. But if you have been consistent, things still aren't working, instead of going into a deficit through your calories, because we tend to already be eating too little anyways, you can add in a little bit more cardio in the form of walking. You don't need to go on long runs, you don't need to do HIIT workouts or be super high intense with anything. Just add more walking to your routine, add a 20-minute session to your week. Start slow because it will affect your appetite, and you don't want to be super hungry in the midst of trying to go through a body recomp. You want to be fueled enough, you want to be gaining muscle, but add in a 20-minute walking session and monitor how it does over time. When it comes to reaching your goals, it's really about tracking progress and like being curious. Is my body responding to what I'm doing? If it's not, why? Am I not adhering? Am I not doing enough of X? Am I doing too much and my body is stressed that I'm not sleeping well or recovering well? These are all things that you want to increase your awareness of. Take measurements. Like if you need to hire a coach, this is why people hire coaches, because it can be overwhelming, then hire a coach if that's what you want to do. But just be sure that you're keeping it real and you're not just looking for an excuse to slash calories. Like if your brain goes there, it's probably not in a good mindset, and that's okay, but give yourself some time and remind yourself that you want to do this the healthy way and not diet, and that there is a way to do it the healthy way. It just takes a little bit more patience, time, and curiosity. Oh my God, my feet just fall asleep. Ow. I'm too old to sit on the floor like this. Okay, you guys, step 5 is a bonus tip. It's an advanced tip. It is not a place to start. It's a cherry on top. It is very effective cherry on top, but you have to have done the previous 4 steps before you start doing this, because it can cause a lot of stress if you haven't gotten some fundamental things in place first. And what it is carb cycling. I've made a few other videos on it. It can really help your metabolism. On days you work out, you're gonna eat a little bit more carbs around your workouts, and on days that you don't work out, you're gonna eat a little bit fewer carbs and a little bit higher fats. That is gonna help you so much with your metabolism. It's gonna help you burn fat. It's gonna help you stay in fat burning mode. And I have a whole other video on carb cycling if you wanna learn more about that. But that's a really good advanced technique you can learn more about that can really help you just spur that fat loss. And again, when I'm talking about losing weight and fat in your thighs and muscle in your thighs, it's gonna come off all over. You can't just do it in the thighs, but these are the principles and the steps that you will need to take to have it happen in your thighs as well as all over. Overall, you guys, I wanna just say, the thigh gap. I I don't swear on this channel, but I feel really strongly that there's certain beauty standards that just don't serve us, and this is probably one of them. I think if you want to get in better shape, you want to feel healthy, and you just want to feel like more toned, that's amazing. I'm all about that. I'm all about that life. I'm always working out and, you know, striving to be my best self. But if you're getting into that mindset of like, I want a thigh gap, I want to look like her, I want to have this certain standard of beauty, just be aware of it. You know, it's not always going to serve you to have that mentality. I know I went through a long journey to loving my thighs, and it was not easy. It took so much time. I've talked about this a lot on my Instagram and my page in general, but I'm finally at a place after, you know, years where I'm fine with it, and I'm proud of my body. I'm proud of how strong my legs are, and I really want to encourage you guys to not be doing this for the thigh gap, but just do it for your health and do it because it's fun and it's something you want to do. And if that's not your goal, also that's totally fine. If you're trying to gain muscle in your thighs, let me know below. We can totally do a video on that as well. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this update to the losing fat and muscle in my thighs. Let me know what questions you have down below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please give us a like if you learned something, and subscribe for more content tailored to petite women, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.